Are PC fans overpriced? What exactly makes a good case fan versus a bad one? Some people want good static pressure, some people want good cable management, and some people just want pretty lights and colors. If there's anything at all that has become more and more apparent to me, it's that case fans are getting more and more overpriced. So I actually wanted to do some research and figure out if that statement is even true. So to begin that research, obviously I wanted to use my own case fans. I've had these fans for about 3 years or so now. They're called Up Here fans. I got them for about $25 on Amazon, and they've done a decent job. But I do kind of want to start with some of the negatives that I've had first. Whenever I tend to turn the computer on, it'll rattle to life, obviously from the imbalance of some of the fans in there, and you can hear that here. And you should be able to tell from there that uh, the colors don't work very well. They've all been set to purple for forever, and several of the LEDs on each fan don't really work. Speaking of the LEDs, the fans came with a remote to change the RGB rather than a software, which is okay depending on who you are, I suppose. But onto some of the positives, I suppose. One, they have lasted me 3 years. They move air well enough. My computer stays cool with a 3070 Ti and a 5600X. Neither of those are particularly super powerful components, but they do stay cool, like I said. A couple of other things, it did come with a hub to plug all the fans into. Very proprietary, but it is there. Each fan got its own vibration resistant rubber on it to keep it from making noise while operating. And the last huge positive of all these fans is that I got a 6-pack for $25. So let's go back to that overpriced standpoint on fans. These fans are very much not overpriced. This cannot be overstated or understated enough. They technically do their job. They have lights that did once upon a time work, came with a hub, and they were $25. And they filled my entire case, all 6 slots except for this back one here, which is a Noctua fan. So that is as far as my hands-on research goes for looking into the fans and stuff like that. But I did do some research on some more expensive fans. And why not look at the most expensive fan I could find? This is a pack of 3 fans. It costs $170, not on sale. And why in the world is that even possible? That would mean to fill my computer with the same amount of fans that I got in one pack for $25, I'd have to spend over $300, which is enough to buy 3070 Ti. Now, obviously, I'm a cynic here, so let's really look into the brass tacks, figure out if this fan or this pack of fans is overpriced. All right, let's look at the very basic parts of this fan. It has a reversible blade, has fantastic RGB. They are daisy chainable, which is amazing. Best thing to ever happen to computer opponents in a very long time. It's got dual zone RGB, and it has fantastic static pressure. And these fans even have an LCD screen in the middle of them. Yes, that is excessive, but this is also a $170 pack of fans. Now let's start on those screens, right? Definitely a gimmick. They add no real horsepower to your computer. If anything, they take it away, which is not the reason why you would be buying these fans. If you're an aesthetic fan, I totally get it. No pun intended. But you still just get normal plastic construction. Yes, it's a quality plastic. It's by Leon Lee. You have a reputable company behind them, which these things all do add value to these fans for sure. But at the end of the day, the software is not great. It is just more lighting, more screens, more things to deal with after the fact of building a computer, which can already be somewhat of a hassle depending on your specific build. Now, the overpriced thing again, when it comes specifically to these fans, I think that these are bespoke. And what I mean by this is that they are overpriced, but they are overpriced for a reason. There's a select group of people that are going to buy this fan, and they are going to be willing to spend a little extra to get the extra bits and bobs and gimmicks, like the LCD screen and the fancy lighting and the reversible fans. If you've been anywhere near close to the PC building culture, you know that there's been a huge fad when it comes to the aestheticness of a computer build. Obviously, my computer is the lack of aesthetic. I just put it together with what I could, parts being powerful and working well were my goal. Well enough, that is, to make sure it doesn't die, because the fans work okay. So to summarize all of this, there is a bottom echelon of cheap, affordable fans that will last you, that can cool your computer, but you're definitely going to want to replace them at some point. I think that these fans have honestly just about reached that point for me. And then you do have your upper echelon of PC fan. These fans have gimmicks, they have no real purpose for utilitarian parts, but a lot of times they have an aesthetic purpose. But there is a middle zone. There's people that don't care for the RGB, they just want proper cooling, and they need to seal certain areas of their case off so that the air moves properly. And there are bougie fans for that too, but there is also what you would expect. Several companies, Noctua, Deepcool, and Thermaltake, all make very middle of the road fans that aren't necessarily underpriced or overpriced, but they fit somebody's budget, and that somebody's budget is more large than either these fans or the $170 Leon Lee fan. So yes, in some ways I do think case fans are overpriced, as their plastic construction can tend to be very cheap for producers, as well as when it comes to these fans, these LED lights were nothing but a couple of cents. But when it comes to larger companies like Corsair or Leon Lee, they put in the development money for their softwares, and they also focus on innovating on new fans year after year. So while some of this is subjective, I would say that fans are not overpriced inherently. Some are, but if you were looking for the right deal, it surely is out there, and you should be able to find a fan that fits your needs and budget. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be posting weekly at the very least. And let me know down below in the comments what you would like to learn about next. Is there something else that you think is overpriced that I can delve into? There's many computer components that I think should be a little bit cheaper than what they are. But other than that, you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.